Hey guys, so as some of you may know, I'm not the best with cars. I can drive them fine, but when it comes to me being on the road, that's a different story. I used to be a massive cyclist. I would bike a 10-mile loop 4 times every single day, so about 40 miles a day. This led to me being on the back roads of my town about 3 hours every single day just cycling. Now you see, the issue is that not everyone in my town likes to drive at a safe speed limit, so it could get really hectic. Now you see, it was April 16th, 2012 when things actually got pretty hectic, when I was in a hit and run while cycling. Some of you are probably thinking, wow Tyler, that sounds really painful and must have been really depressing. Why would you say something like this? And yeah, it was really painful, and yeah, it was really depressing, even to this day. But it's my video, so what I say goes. So with that, let's start off. It was Monday of April break, and myself and 2 other friends decided that we wanted to go play tennis. So, since I biked all the time, I decided that I was just gonna bike to the school where the tennis courts were, which was about 5 or 6 miles away. Another one of my friends was gonna walk because he only lived around 2 or 3 miles away and it was a fine walk for him. And then my other friend was getting her aunt to drive her. More on that later. So I left to go to the courts, passed my friend who was walking and was the first one there. We all got there, played about 10 minutes worth of tennis, and then pretty much just sat down for an hour and a half because it was way too hot. And then we decided that we were gonna go back to my friend's aunt's house for sandwiches and just to hang out. Now this is where bad decisions start. My friend who got driven there by her aunt obviously was getting driven back by her. My friend who walked, on the other hand, decided that he was also gonna go with her because he didn't want to have to walk there. Now myself, I could have. I was offered to be driven and then just leave my bike there and pick it up later. I declined this. Why did I decline this? Because I loved to go biking. It was and still is pretty much the only time that I can really jam out to music, have my own thoughts, etc. So I declined the offer and said that I'd get there in about 10 minutes or so. So they left, I got ready, and then I left the school. It's this point where I should bring up that my friend's aunt's house was only about a half a mile away from where my friend who walked lived. So I'm biking, everything's fine. In fact, I'm making really good time, which is why everything must have gone wrong. Now what happened in the next few minutes went by so fast. I was approaching a T intersection, or a road that intersects another. Now the problem with this T intersection is that it was going up a hill with a curve, so it leaves a massive blind spot behind me. So I'm constantly having to check behind me in order to make sure there's no cars coming. Now you see, the issue is, when I turn around to look at my blind spot, I can't look at the road that's adjacent to me. As I approach the intersection, a red extended cab Ford pickup runs a stoplight and smashes straight into me, going around 30 miles an hour. It all occurred so fast, and I had no idea what was even happening. To describe it like this, as I was going straight, the truck came and smashed into me and pushed me up onto the cliff of the side. I was completely smashed into the front and then dragged underneath the vehicle. Twisted between my broken bike and now crippled body, I was pushed up and just left on the cliff. The person who hit me then stayed there for about 10 seconds, backed up, and then drove off towards where I was coming from. I should also note that I didn't have a cell phone at the time because as I was younger, I didn't have a full plan, but I had a prepaid phone, which had about 100 messages total per month, which I had used. As the minutes were all used up, I didn't even bother bringing it anywhere because it was just another thing to have in my pocket along with my huge MP3 player. As I'm in such a small town, there's a lot of back roads and even more woods to go along with that. So I was not that close to anyone that could have helped me. This, along with the fact that no cars really pass by because it is such a back road. So what did I do? I laid there. For about 10-15 minutes, I was just laying there, bleeding out in crippling pain, trying to absorb what just happened. Anyway, so I was staying there because I was trying to absorb exactly what was happening. And eventually, I knew that I had to get up and had to try and find my way there. Now at this point, I'm about 2 miles away from my friend's aunt's house, and for some reason, 14-year-old me did not want to go into any houses that I passed by, which I did pass by a few. I didn't want to bother them, I think. So what I did was I carried my broken bike and crippled body to my friend's aunt's house. I was completely slammed up, I was bruised, cut, blood all over my body, and a broken rib. Even more, I have scars all up the side of my body from where I was hit. Just as a side note, thinking about this in a lot more detail than I have for years now, it's actually kind of really hard. I'm like kind of shaking even, and it's traumatic. I mean, there's no other word for it. It's traumatic. I haven't told this story in a long time, and I don't think I've ever told it in this detail, but it's something different. Anyway, so I go, there's only about one car that passes by, and I finally get to my friend's aunt's house. At this point, it's now been probably 40 to 50 minutes that I've been gone. When I go down the driveway, they see me, and her aunt comes out and starts talking to me. Oh, hey Tyler, where you been? I was in a hit and run. No, seriously, where have you been? We have ham sandwiches inside. I just said I was in a hit and run. What? Oh God, come inside right now. Come inside. So once I went inside, my two friends I had played tennis with were in there as well, and they were extremely shocked at what happened, and worried even. So the police were called, and I filed a report about exactly what happened. I still remember the officer's name, and up until I went to college, I still carried around the officer's name, the date it happened, and the case number in my wallet. My mother wasn't picking up her phone, so I called my sister in order to tell my mother about what happened. And the funny thing is, she kind of said it really chill-like. She kind of just said that, hey mom, so what's for dinner? Also, Tyler got hit by a car, by the way, just saying. Anyway, once everything was filed, I went home, and for the next 2.5 to 3 years, I still had massive chest pains and had to breathe really rapidly. So much that sometimes today, I even still do that just because it's a force of habit. Now this was a really long episode, and I could literally feel myself getting more worried and anxious and depressed while filming it, and probably when I review this, I'm gonna see that, and it's gonna be really weird, and I might have a note about it right now in like the lower third section, but still, the one funny thing that happened, I guess you can say, on this day was that around 10 minutes before I showed up, they were wondering where I was and all. And so one of my friends responds as a joke, I bet he got hit by a car or something. Little to find out that I did. So that was really, really depressing and long, and I apologize for that. So I'm gonna go. So if you have any opinions on this, feel free to leave them down below. Just remember that this was an actual traumatic thing that happened to me, so there's that. If you liked it for some reason, leave a like, and if you want to see more content that's not as depressing as this, but still stories about what happened to me, make sure to subscribe. So, I'm Tyler. Until next time, I'll see you around.
Hey guys, I'm just making this video to tell you about how I know I said that I was gonna make an upload video this Saturday, and I was planning on it and everything. In fact, I had a day to shoot it, but I can't do that this week because of something that arose on, what day is today? Tuesday. So Monday, on the 16th, I was hit, not really head on, but on the side of the road. I was hit by a truck, and I have cuts, scrapes, and bruises, and a broken rib, and such. It hurts if I inhale too much, so I'm sorry if I'm kind of out of breath. It's because I've been taking short breaths. But I won't be making any videos for a bit